Hey Shark fans, it's your pal Ian coming to you after the Winnipeg Jets Sharks game where the Sharks were thoroughly beaten and their playoff hopes pretty much dashed pretty badly. I'm going to have a written article about that though, so this video is not going to be totally about that. What I do is I thought I'd do a video while I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to actually write for my article and do a video basically break down some other stuff. So right now the NHL general managers are down in Florida for their annual general manager meetings and which is usually where rule changes and stuff like that are discussed. And of the rule changes that are seemingly going to happen so far, at least the ones that the general managers are suggesting, um, are a few different rules. Now, the thing I want to explain before I actually get into the rules is that just because the general manager suggests a rule doesn't mean it's going to go through. It has to go through a few other steps. So the general manager meetings basically decide a rule change. From there, it has to go to the competition committee, on which is a combination of the joint between the players and the and I believe the owners. I believe it's a joint committee. So they have to approve it, and then once that's approved, it obviously has to ultimately be approved by the board of governors. So right now we're only at GM meeting approvals. All the other stuff still has to happen. Generally, the stuff kind of gets sewn up about June. So let's talk about some of the rules they want to change. The first rule, kind of not really getting a whole lot of play, is that they are trying to get rid of the penalty for putting the puck over the glass in the defensive zone. Now I know a lot of people really hate this penalty, and I don't like it either because there's no it's unforgiving because I mean obviously with the refs we don't really want to give too much ref discretion on some of these things, but in this situation, there's no accidental, like, there's deliberately putting it over the glass and then there's obviously an accident and there's no accounting for that. Right now you put it over the glass in the defensive zone and it's automatic 2-minute penalty. It doesn't matter if it's an important part of the game where the refs would normally swallow their whistle. It's an awful penalty and I hate it. But at the same time, what I worry about is now a game's going to be, let's say it's in the last 5 minutes of a game, team's up by one, pressures in the team who's up by one, the pressure's on them by the team that's down by a goal, and now they're taking face off after face off in the defensive zone. What I'm most concerned with now is that the team that's defending the 1 goal lead is just going to keep putting the puck over the boards as long as they have, as long as they're comfortable they can win a face off. And I think that's why they really put this rule in to begin with. So I'm kind of on the fence on this one. I can see the reason why they want to get rid of it. I hate it sometimes, but at the same time, I really don't want to watch face off after face off after face off and let the last 5 minutes of time on the clock take 15 minutes because we have to do draw after draw after draw because they just keep deliberately putting the puck over the boards. So I think if they do it, I'd like to have like the ref's discretion where if someone's obviously putting the puck over the boards, that it would be a delay of game still. But I'm not a general manager, so what the hell do I know? Okay, let's talk about some of the other things. There's talk of a coach's challenge. So what it sounds like will happen is the coach will be able to challenge a play. It looks like for goaltender interference. I don't think it's completely broad yet. I think it's just goaltender interference, where kind of like football, where it will cost you a timeout. So if the coach can use his timeout to basically have a play reviewed, and then they can go back and take a look at it. Uh, I mean, it's common sense. I think that this should have been something that they should have had a long time ago. And it really makes it interesting because, in hockey, you only have one timeout. So if waste your timeout on a call and then, you need that timeout in the last 10 minutes of the game, and that makes it interesting. It's going to make for interesting coaching. Um, Other than that, the other big rule change they're discussing is overtime. It sounds like there is going to be a change in the overtime format. It doesn't seem like they've decided yet how it's going to work. So what the two options are is it looks like they're going to go to maybe like the AHL is doing, a hybrid 4-on-4 and then 3-on-3 kind of halfway through the period. They'd switch to a 3-on-3 or just starting at 3-on-3, which it seems like Ken Holland of Detroit Red Wings is pushing for, from what I read, is just having just a 3-on-3 overtime, which I think would be interesting. I know some people have kind of bemoaned it kind of gimmicky, just like the shootout's kind of gimmicky, and I get that, but 3-on-3 hockey is fantastic. I mean, yes, it's gimmicky, but at the same time, you know, the problem with overtime, the problem with hockey in general is that it's so overcoached. And I think that with systems and coaching and everything's always pushed to the defensive way. So if you put it on three, I think, I mean, eventually the coaches are going to figure out a way to defend against it. But I think at the start, you're going to see a lot more goals. I think the stat I read today was that when the teams, that when they put it, I think it was in the Swedish league, I could be wrong on this, I might be misquoting, but when they put it in the league, scoring in overtime had gone up 35% since they switched to a 3-on-3 format. And I don't see why the NHL would be any different. It's a lot of ice to cover, and I don't know how you would basically clog down with a 3-on-3 with all that ice to work with. So um, that's something I'd definitely be interested in. I'm not a huge fan of the shootout. I don't hate the shootout, but I'm not a fan of it. So anything that would, you know, end games first is fine. I mean, I don't even care about ties. I can go back to ties for all I care. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is it looks like they're going to change the overtime format. So obviously, as these things continue, I will keep you up to speed on them. Other than that, look forward to my article. I'll probably include this video with the article as well, just as like kind of a bonus topic, because I don't really feel like writing about this yet until I have more concrete stuff. And the GM meetings are going to last for another, I think they go for the rest of the week. So I'm not sure what else is going to come of them. So maybe when they're all done, I'll write something then. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and I hope this took your mind off the dreadful performance by the Sharks tonight. And look forward to my article, and have a good night.